figure that out on here just for a bit before I have to go to work. As I'm holding a microphone like this, because this is broken, but that's totally fine. So I got pictures of the place where hopefully I'll be moving into. That cabinet stays in there. That's the only thing to be within the furnishing or the non-furnishment. Then private bathroom. So essentially what it really is, it's like kind of like a studio a bit. That's how it's going to be. I don't know exactly how it's going to be set up or how I'm going to set it up, but I have a couch offered to me, like a two-seat couch. It's offered if I can fit it in there, and then I have a bed. So, and that's going to be happening. Well, first I got to get a call. I got to get a call by the end of the week to see if I got it or not. I talked with the lady. She said, drinking's fine. Smoking's fine so long as you don't do it in the house. I'm like, okay. And the room is separated from everywhere else, kind of like how when I lived in my last room, I was living with my aunt. It's pretty much isolated, own bathroom, except I actually have a shower this time. I don't have to walk all the way across the house. And I'm pretty stoked this is happening. If I look at the calendar right now, 21st is when I'm going to receive my refund. So once that happens, it's essentially like it's active. But then once I get accepted, then I'll have to ask her when the move end date can be. Which, if it's anybody like with a normal mind, it'd be end up being the first of next month. Or she can just say, well, it could be available now. You just maybe every time this month, or just move in early. Not too expensive either. It's definitely affordable. High speed internet, so I'm able to go on here, do the stream thing, and I should be able to have like a somewhat of a new setup. Somewhat. I'm not teaching my computer just yet. I'm gonna work on it for the first time, and ever since I got it, like there's cookies and a bunch of stuff on here that's kind of like running the disk space a little bit lower. And I also have this table over here. Like it's a mess, but I'll go and show it. The table has a cushion on it. It's right there. That's going with me. This is not all me, by the way. Promise. I would own up to the clutter. It's like there's an empty water bottle. There's a can of sparkling water, a Pepsi can, and a Powerade can that belong to me. But I imagine I'm going to give this area a good cleaning before I actually take or depart. And then the expenses, including that, is I have to get a moving truck to get the stuff from point A to point B, pretty much. Which probably not going to be that expensive. I think there's areas that I can rent out by the hour, and honestly, we probably only need it for about 3. So that'd probably be another $100, including the gas. But it's all in speculation. I'm working a decent amount. Like I said, I'm about to be heading to work. So what I did and I've done it a couple times. Hey there, Walter. Cheers to you, bro. What I did a couple times before is saying, "Yeah, I'm moving. Yeah, I'm moving," and it hasn't worked out. Um, Pretty much to my merit. And but this one, she told me, there's two other people got to interview, but there's this room and then there's this room. So chances are, I'll just let you know whether you're going to be moving in or not. But you probably are. So, just explain to her, I was just upfront and honest, just have the best policy about it. I told her that I was asked to move one time in my life, and she was kind of like iffy about it. My defense was, well, they were getting up there in age, and they didn't want that kind of energy around. Uh, and her defense was, well, usually people aren't like that. It's you weren't there, pretty much. um, Usually people aren't, but I put it down there, and I'll show this again. I put my Cash App down there, and that's just for people uh, who want to. They don't have to. I'm never gonna ask for anything. As I drop my mic to my shirt, I'm never gonna ask for anything. You know, unless if it's like a really dire situation, and that's like with someone passed or something like that. God damn it. So yeah, this is the first picture. That's just from the doorway. Um, the room is big enough to fit a queen size. I am going to be using a twin size bed. So what I'm thinking is that the bed has to be over on that wall, the far corner opposite of the wooden stand, and which is that's going to be removed. It's going to have to be over there. It's going to cover up one plug, which is probably just going to be used for like my cell phone and stuff like that. And then I'm thinking like at the edge of the bed because the bed's not going to be long enough to cover the room. At the edge of the bed, I'm thinking is that's where my computer's going to be. Either that, or I might just put it where those two plugs are, and just use those two plugs. Or if it's even easier, to put it where that box is right there, if you can see it, which I think has to deal with either like cable or internet. Probably that's probably like an internet thing, so I might put it there. It's either that or it'll go where the two plugs are, and then the couch will go where the where that structure is because the couch will essentially like protect it from anybody knocking into it. So, and it'll make it not be such an eyesore with that wire sticking out because I think that's a cable wire, and I don't use cable. So then that would be where the TV is, and then put the computer where the window is, and then although it's kind of a weird feeling to have my back turned against the front door of the room. It's also kind of nice to be able to look outside, even though it's just a gate. It'd be kind of nice to just look outside while I'm sitting on the computer, you know, either gaming or being on here or what have you. And then that's the cupboard I was talking about. So I might just push that cupboard to a little bit further down and then just put the bed there. And that'll be used as like my dresser slash. Uh, I think it hangs up close, but I didn't look inside, so I'm not really sure. But I do like it. I like that Victorian style uh, esque thing. So, and I like the color of it. I'm a big fan of brownish greenish colors. So that matches. And now all I'd have to shop for really is obviously a new headset, which that's not really that big of a deal. And then I'd have to get a new chair because this chair is not for sitting. So, um, and as far as like the Cash App thing goes, again, it's not me saying, "Oh, I need help, I need help." No, that's not at all what it is. It's it's a means of, I guess, people having, like, oh well, I donated this, and then they just kind of like giving me shit, even though they just threw in like $5, which helps. They're like, oh, but I gave you $5 so you move, and like kind of like troll me and be a scumbag and stuff like that. It's kind of like more of like a fun thing, but it everything does add up. So that's what that's there for. But anyway, I digress. So the show then, like that's far end. I didn't take a picture of the closet, but there was a closet. I kind of wish there wasn't because I have no use for an actual closet. I don't keep that much space. I'm a minimalist. And then again, this is a bathroom. I didn't take a picture of the sink, but essentially it's just tile, shower head, toilet, and right next to me is the kitchen, which that area. And the reason why one of the places that I tried to move to didn't really work out was they were totally against anyone using the washer and dryer aside from them. And this place is not like that. So, which is a deal breaker because they say, oh, well, there's a laundromat, where you live, but I don't want to do my laundry. It feels weird, you know. No, I want to do my laundry where I live. So, but this place lets me do that. Full kitchen privileges, full laundry privileges, high speed internet. Pretty much essentially the same thing that I have here, except for the longest time, I'll have a door behind me and closed and have some privacy. And for an even longer time, uh, because the last room I lived in was relatives, and they felt it necessary to barge in and go into my privacy in the first place. So this will be the first time where that will not happen. Um, in fact, if I do get approved, I should say when, but I'm going to ask for a key, obviously for the house, and then a key for the room, because uh, even though I like to trust people from my past experiences, it's kind of hard to. But then again, you know, if I store beer in my room, there's not going to be anybody there that's going to want to sneak in there and grab and take it, just like how my last two homes uh, did. So it'd be total privacy, be able to hang out, you know, be able to talk like this at all times, through day and night, because they can't hear anything. She informed me that like she was like, the best thing about this room is that no one can hear what you're doing. So unless if you're like screaming at the top of your lungs, but yeah. So again, the like I said, the Cash app is there, but that's just for people who want to say, "Oh, well, I did this," and also I appreciate it. Of course, I do. But anyway, I'm gonna head out. Gonna get to work. Just an update. But again, it should be. I'm hoping the 26th. That's the hope. The hope is to move by the 26th, and hopefully she'll be able to be like, okay, because yeah. Um, the downfall of it is that it's a little bit farther from work, so we'll be taking a bike or public transportation. But the bike seems like a bit of a better fit because the bike ride's about 25 minutes, and I can see that as like, oh well, you got to exercise. You're gonna have a long bike ride, so don't go too crazy. You know what I mean? Kind of like a punishment to myself and get myself in better shape. So anyway, y'all take care. I'm out.